Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. One who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness. Could you repeat that? Unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness. Cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day. Being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshiping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self-realization, so that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never comes back to this material condition of life. Shema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. The Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga. And when he becomes fully Krishna conscious, the Lord protects him from falling down to a miserable conditioned life. You just see the program of Krishna. At first, he's going to help the devotee, meaning you, to become Krishna conscious. And then he's going to protect you so you remain in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, we have to understand how merciful Krishna is. He doesn't force anyone, but if you show even a little glimmer of interest in Krishna, he does everything possible to help you become a devotee and engage in devotional service, and to help you in difficult situations, and ultimately to keep you engaged in Krishna consciousness until you go back to Godhead. In other words, back to the spiritual world. So this is a wonderful verse. Let me read it again. And you can repeat after me. But those who worship me, but those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. Now, how do we understand that statement? I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. Well, whatever we lack, in other words, lack in terms of knowledge of Krishna, he will make sure that we have or we can achieve that knowledge. And then I preserve what they have. Well, whatever we have been doing in Krishna consciousness, chanting, dancing, having prasadam, hearing lectures, he'll make sure that we'll continue doing that. So in two ways, Krishna is going to protect us, and he's going to make sure that we are educated properly, so that when we're properly educated, we don't leave his association. Okay, so in the purport to this verse, it says, and you can repeat after me, one who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day, being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshiping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self-realization, so that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga. So yoga means connecting to Krishna. Yoga doesn't mean doing exercises. That's definitely not yoga. Now, people think it is, but it's not. Yoga means connecting to Krishna through love and devotion. That's the way we connect to Krishna. And in order to develop that love and devotion, we engage in devotional service to the Lord. There's so many ways to serve the Lord. And even if it's in the most humble way, Krishna accepts it. Okay, so such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self-realization, so that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga. So yoga means connecting to Krishna. And how do you connect to him? It's through devotional service rendered for the pleasure of Krishna and without any material desire on our part. We only desire to please the Lord. This is called yoga. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never comes back to this material condition of life. Kshema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. The Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga. And when he becomes fully Krishna consciousness, the Lord protects the devotee from falling down to a miserable, conditioned life. Now we see how personal the relationship is between the devotee and Krishna. And when we say devotee, anyone can become a devotee of Krishna. It doesn't matter whether they're Hindu or they're not Hindu, whether they come from a very low family or from a very exalted family. Everyone can make spiritual advancement in the association of Krishna and through the association of Krishna's devotees. So when you come in contact with Krishna's devotees, you will also come in contact with Krishna, because they'll always be talking about Krishna, chanting for Krishna, dancing for Krishna, having Krishna prasadam, hearing lectures about Krishna, talking about Krishna. Their whole life, the life of a devotee, is always dedicated to somehow or other please Krishna by service. That's who we actually are. If we love someone, we offer them service, right? If you have a grandmother and she's a very sweet lady, you give her all respect and you give her some service. You make nice food for her, you give her a place to sleep or stay, you give her money, you take care of her because you love her. In the same way, the devotee has that type and even more personal relationship with Krishna. And Krishna reciprocates. He reciprocates with the devotee. So, therefore, having a personal relationship with Krishna is the perfection of spiritual life. Therefore, we should think very seriously about this, how to develop that loving relationship with Krishna, and then he's in your heart, and he sees how serious you are, and he'll reciprocate. Once you feel that reciprocation, you're beginning to develop what you would call love and devotion for the Lord, and you will stay on that path with resolute determination so that you can go right up to the moment of death, and at the moment of death, you can remember Krishna and go back to the spiritual world. So, many times I've said that the most important moment of life is the moment of death, because that's going to determine what's going to happen to you. If you can remember the name of Krishna at the moment of death, you go back to the spiritual world. If you can't remember that, you're just thinking about your dog, or you're thinking about your 401k, or you're thinking about some insult you received from your husband or your wife, you're not going to be able to go back to Godhead. So we have to clear our mind of all anger, lust, in other words, lust, anger, and greed. We have to clear our mind from those three demoniac qualities and replace them with love, surrender to the Lord, and service to the Lord. Then we become a genuine devotee, and we become determined to be a genuine devotee right up to the moment of death. And because we've always been chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, it's easy to remember Krishna, even though it's a difficult time, the moment of death. But you realize through all the service you've done for Krishna that you cannot take your mind away from Krishna. And that's what's being said here in this verse and in the purport exactly of this verse, where it says, one who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day, being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshiping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, rendering other services, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self-realization, so that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty, and this is called yoga. Yoga means connecting to Krishna. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never comes back to this material condition of life. Kshema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. So here what's being said is, one, Krishna will lead you to engage in his service and be always remembering him and engaging in his service. And he will also give you knowledge by which you do not get confused and attracted again to material things in the material world because of your love and devotion for Krishna. Krishna, of course, is the most beautiful person. And here, with our deities, we have Radha and Krishna. They're gorgeous. Every day, our devotees are dressing them so nicely, and they're just gorgeous. I mean, what do you think? How do they look right now? They're beautiful. Yeah. This is so that you can keep the vision of Radha and Krishna in your mind always. So every time you come to the temple, you see them dressed nicely with brilliant colors and lights and so forth, so that you can't forget them. Let's put it like that. So that's basically what's being said also as here. It says, one who is unable to live for a moment without Krishna consciousness and cannot but think of Krishna 24 hours a day, being engaged in devotional service by hearing, chanting, remembering, offering prayers, worshiping service to the lotus feet of the Lord, surrendering other services, cultivating friendship, and surrendering fully to the Lord. Such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies, which make the devotee perfect in self-realization. Okay, so that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a devotee undoubtedly approaches the Lord without difficulty. This is called yoga. By the mercy of the Lord, such a devotee never comes back to this material condition of life. Kshema refers to the merciful protection of the Lord. The Lord helps the devotee to achieve Krishna consciousness by yoga, and when he becomes fully Krishna conscious, the Lord protects him from falling down to a miserable condition. So that is yoga and Kshema. Yoga, one comes into contact with Krishna, and Kshema, one stays in contact with Krishna the rest of your life. So this is how personal Krishna is. There are hundreds, billions of living entities, but Krishna will give all this attention to you if you reciprocate just even a little bit. So therefore, we should see how merciful Krishna is. And it'll bring tears to your eyes when you realize that because of taking it seriously to be Krishna consciousness, all your problems have gone away. Things that you thought would be impossible to, let's say, do, or impossible to get out of a difficult situation, but it all became possible because of your determination to serve Krishna. And Krishna is reciprocal. You do something for Krishna, he does 10, 100, or 1,000 times more things for you. That's how merciful he is. So we should take advantage of this opportunity to become Krishna conscious. We've gone through so many births and deaths to come to the human form of life. There are 8,400,000 species in this universe, and we've gone through every one of them to come to the human form of life. So, in this one special human form of life, we should use it to understand our personal relationship with Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that we can go back to Vaikuntha. Kunta means anxiety, and Vaikuntha means no anxiety. The spiritual world is a place where there's no anxiety because there are no demons. And there's no old age, disease, and death. And everyone is happy. Everyone is very clean and very dedicated to serving God or Krishna. It's wonderful association, and nobody gets old, nobody gets sick, and nobody dies. That is the spiritual world. And do not think it's a fairy tale, and do not think it's not possible that you also can experience it. It's very easy in this age of Kali Yuga, the worst age in which people can live in, and in the state of Washington, the most atheistic state, and the 49 states of the government. Here, you can, by coming to the temple and associating with the devotees here, you can have a complete spiritual experience every time you come. And also, you can learn how to worship Krishna even in your own home and offer prasadam to the Lord, and then offer, and Lord offers it back to you as his prasadam, and then you feed your family with that. So now they're not just eating food, they're eating Krishna prasadam. So all these things can be learned, and they're not difficult and very easy. In fact, we have one book, it only costs $1. It teaches how to be Krishna conscious in your home. So if you want that book, let's see, go get one book. Let's show everyone. Yeah, you should definitely have that little book. It's a small book, but it's got a lot of very significant information in it. How to make your home a mandir, a temple, and have the association of Krishna. I just show it to the people. You know, they don't have to bring it to me. You just show it to ladies first. Yeah. Okay, so I talked a little bit now. Does anybody have a question they would like to ask? Anybody have a question? That book only costs $1, so it actually should be sold for $1,000. The information in that book can save your life. But anyway, it's only $1. Anybody have a question? Okay, wait a minute. Get the microphone. We want everyone to hear this question because it's important.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hold it closer to your mouth.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. In this verse, for the word-to-word translation, Prabhupada has the word-to-word translation.
Word-to-word translation, yeah.
Yeah. Prabhupada has translated yoga as requirements.
Yeah.
So could you please elaborate? Because we understand that yoga is mostly translated as, connecting with the Lord.
Well, the number one requirement that a human being has is to connect to Krishna. Okay? That's why it says requirement, but it means connecting to Krishna. Now, we might not think it's a requirement because we're in Maya. We're doing all kinds of nonsense things, going to Disneyland, doing all kinds of nonsense things. But as a devotee, the number one requirement is to be with Krishna, always. That's why in this context, yoga can mean requirement, okay? The number one requirement that everybody has in life is to have a real connection to God. If you go through your whole life without any connection to God, you have failed as a human being. And you'll be stuck in the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease over and over and over and over again. But if you take Krishna consciousness seriously, you can achieve the perfection of human ability the perfection of human ability is to be able to have a relationship, a direct relationship with God. And through that relationship, become a person who is qualified to go back to the spiritual world in this lifetime. So you want to qualify yourself, chant Hare Krishna, eat only Krishna Prasadam, regularly come to the temple and hear the lectures, and in general, chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you want to be connected to Krishna always, simply chant Hare Krishna mantra. This mantra puts you directly, Priya validated what I just said. She validated what I just said. If you want to be in connection to Krishna, you just chant Hare Krishna. It makes you directly in touch with Krishna. There's no difference between the vibration of the name Krishna and Krishna himself. So you'll be blessed all the time just by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey, where is he? Ah, okay. Did you say Hare Hare? Yeah? Thank you very much. You said it very nicely. Anybody have a question? Anybody have a question? It's very good to ask questions because you learn something when you ask a question. If you don't ask a question, you don't learn anything. But if you ask a question, you will learn something. So, anybody have a question? Yes, Prabhu?
Guru Maharaj, so the highest potential of a human life is to build a connection with Krishna, but how to develop that faith in the beginning?
All right, well, I've written a whole book about how to develop faith. I should have brought it. I was thinking of bringing those books tonight. They're not big books, you know. Anyway, the best way to have faith is to associate with people that have faith. Now, if you go every day to a bar where people drink liquor and talk nonsense and gamble, you'll never develop faith in God. Never. No chance at all. But if you come to the temple where there's no liquor, no talking nonsense, no intoxication and so forth, and we're chanting Hare Krishna, oh, there it is, Developing Faith. This is a very good book. It's very thin. It's not a big book. But this is a wonderful book if you want to develop faith. You have this book? You'll take it, okay. Here. Anybody else want the book? We have a bunch of them. Okay. You should definitely read this book. I've written about over 20 books, but this is one I really like the most because it's a short book, but the information in it is so important that it's a life-changing information. Yeah, the best way to develop faith is associate with people who have faith. And the best way not to have faith is to associate with unholy people. There you go. Very simple. But if you associate with people who have faith, very quickly you will develop faith also. Faith means that even though you don't see Krishna, even though you don't hear Krishna, but you know Krishna is there. He's in your heart as Paramatma. He is the most significant person in your life. Well, why? Because if he was not in your heart, you would die immediately. Krishna is the person that's actually keeping you alive. He's also helping you to remember him, giving you knowledge, and giving you protection. So, if you want to have a best friend, the best friend is Krishna. the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because he can do so many wonderful things for you. And you'll experience it. You will experience it, and rather quickly. All your problems will go away. But you will lose all your friends who drink liquor, eat meat. Thank you very much. See, Priya just validated what I said. You will lose your friends or even your relatives who eat meat, who gamble, and who are not spiritually inclined. Now, we have nothing against our family or friends, but to associate with people that are unholy is not going to help you spiritually. What will help you spiritually is to continually associate with holy people. And when you're lucky enough to have the association of holy people, you make very quick spiritual advancement. Even Priya, our cow, she's made a lot of advancement. She's still a very young girl. What is she, 8 months old, Prabhu? Yeah, only 8 months old, but she looks very peaceful. She comes to the temple. She is hearing the Hare Krishna mantra. Sometimes she chants. Of course, it doesn't sound like she's chanting, but she says, ah. So she's trying to chant, right? So she's very fortunate. And she eats prasadam also. So she's a special devotee with 4 legs. You only have 2. She's got 4. So she beat you. Okay. Any other questions anyone would like to ask? You have a question? Yes, Mataji. You ask nice questions.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, a question I have is, you mentioned that there are millions and billions of living entities who are in the material world. What could be the reason for Krishna to reciprocate with us when we don't have any qualifications, have not been meditating for millions or trillions of years, or doing lot of seva, or have lot of devotion, but what could be the reason for Krishna then to reciprocate with us amongst all the millions and billions of devotees? Can you explain the merciful aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
Now you can understand how important it is to associate with devotees. You might feel yourself not qualified, but you become qualified because you associate with devotees. If you associate with non-devotees, yeah, you'll be not qualified. But you associate with devotees, overnight you can become qualified to be a devotee. And you have to make a decision who you're going to associate with. And sometimes it's going to be very difficult to make those decisions. But if you can make the decision to avoid the association of non-devotees and only associate with genuine devotees, you make immediately very big advancement in Krishna consciousness. So I don't know if that's the answer to your question. Did I answer your question, or is it something else?
I have a follow-up question. Like, why Krishna's devotees are so merciful? I mean, I just want to understand the merciful aspect of Krishna, because we have made so many mistakes. We don't know what all we have done in previous lives or this life unknowingly. But still, why Krishna is so merciful that, we have devotees in our life, we have temple, we have Bhagavad Gita, we have Srimad Bhagavatam. So why is, Krishna is reciprocating, amongst like billions and trillions, there might be many more qualified people.
No, I don't want that. I don't. No, you keep that. Now you know how merciful Krishna is. There are millions and millions of people, yeah. So why should he be especially merciful to you? Well, because you have taken an interest in him. He's in your heart. Krishna is the closest person to all of us because he's in the heart of every living entity. Not only human beings, but also the trees, the bugs, the birds, and the cows, and so forth. But when you become conscious of the fact that God is in your heart, and he's the cause of knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So if we have an interest in serving Krishna, he gives us knowledge and remembrance. And if we lose our taste for Krishna consciousness, he gives us forgetfulness. In order to commit sinful activities, you have to forget who Krishna is. He helps you. He'll help you completely forget him so you can engage in sinful activities. But who wants to do that? It's much nicer if you want to be Krishna conscious. Krishna gives you knowledge and remembrance. So you will know who he is, how to serve him, and you'll never forget him. So why is he doing it to you? It's because he loves you, that's why. Yeah, you're only one person. There are millions, billions of people. Why has he been especially kind to you? Because he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's in your heart. He's the closest person to you. And he sees now that you've taken an interest in him. Now he's going to do everything possible to help you. Stay in Krishna consciousness and be happy in Krishna consciousness. So I think I have to ask you a question, though. Are you happy?
Depends on what is the definition of happiness, Maharaj.
It's pretty easy to know what the definition of happiness is. You have no worries. You have no anxiety. You can chant Hare Krishna every day and not feel like it's an imposition or some type of waste of time in your life.
No, I don't think it's a waste of time. It's the best time of my life when I chant.
Then you see you're a devotee. Now, obviously there are a lot of different problems in this world, but if we maintain our faith in Krishna, you'll be able to weather the storm of problems, whether it's sickness, whether it's financial problems, whatever. You'll weather the storm, and you always will have, and it's a fact. You always will have the help of devotees. Devotees are also very merciful. So that's the nice thing about having a community of devotees. You're not alone. You're not floating in the ocean by yourself. Right? You have people that have affection for you, and you can make spiritual advancement when you feel protected by not only your husband, but by also the devotees, and ultimately by Krishna. When a person feels protected and is not in anxiety, they become very creative. They're able to do very creative things and develop, all kinds of desires to please Krishna. Because you're not afraid of anything, you feel very peaceful, your heart is clean. Now you can think of doing nice things for Krishna and helping other people at the same time. So this peace of mind is very important. The mind that's controlled is your best friend. A mind that's not controlled is your worst enemy. So, how do we control the mind? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. How do we protect ourselves from anxiety and fear? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. How do we tolerate difficult situations? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. You find a nice place where you can sit down, like on a rug, like that. Jai Shishirada Nilamadava Ki Jai. You just sit down on a carpet or on a chair or whatever, and you just chant. And you keep chanting and chanting until all your fears, anxieties, doubts go away. And they will go away if you just keep chanting. They'll go away. Okay? Any other questions? Any other questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I have one
Yes,
more
sir.
question.
Hold it closer to your mouth.
Recently, in India, there was a Kumbh Mela, right, after a very long time. So, what is the significance of attending Kumbh Mela, and what was Prabhupada's idea about attending a Kumbh Mela or going there and?
Well, let's understand what it's all about. The people go to the Kumbh Mela, especially the one that's every 12 years, I think it is. They're hoping to get one drop of rainwater touch their body. Now, how many people go to the Kumbh Mela? How many people go? How many? 50 million. 650 million, right. They're all going there to get one drop of Amrit to touch their body so that they'll be qualified to be immortal. Isn't that right? Is that right or wrong? Yeah. Now, what are the let's say, what are the possibilities out of 600 million people? 650 million people that one drop of Amrit will touch their body. You tell me, what are the possibilities for that? Huh? Yeah, very small, right? But, see, this is the magic of India. People have faith. You see, faith can solve all problems in life. So we should have that type of faith, But our faith should be built up not by going to Kumbh Mela, but by chanting our rounds every day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Because the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the real Amrit, the real, let's say, blessing for eternal life. This chant. Let me read something for you. It's very interesting. Let's see where it is. Yeah. Hare Nama, eva kevalam. Kalo nasteva, gatiranyata. This is a very nice mantra that we sing sometimes. And also, Chinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahistana amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. These two verses, if you memorize them and say them every day, along with chanting Hare Krishna, you'll be, let's say, on the fast track back to Godhead. So the first mantra says, Hare Nama, always chant the names of Krishna. 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 Kaler nasteva, 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 gatiranyata. It's the only way, the only way, the only way to develop love for the Lord. It's a very nice mantra. Harinama, 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 eva kevalam, kalo nasteva, 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 gatiranyata. Very nice mantra, right? And the other one is Chinadapi Sunichena, Tararapi Saistana, Amani Namanadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, or Kali Yuga, the only means of deliverance from deliverance is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama eva kevalam. Kalo nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyata. So this chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the only way that one can attain liberation, and rather easily attain liberation from the cycle of birth and death. That's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this was his mercy when he emphasized. The Mahamantra was there. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra has been there from the beginning of time. But he emphasized it, that if you simply chant this mantra regularly every day, you will go back to Godhead. And nasteva, nasteva, nasteva means there's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way in this age of Kali Yuga. There's so many other mantras you could chant, but this is the only mantra that actually works. It's just like you can have so many ideas about how to make money, and most of them fail. But if you chant Hare Krishna mantra, it's not going to fail. It's guaranteed to give you the result. What's the result? Purifies your heart of all lust and greed and anger, and purifies your heart so that you can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare every day. And guaranteed you'll be able to remember Krishna at the moment of death and go back to the spiritual world. Okay. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalu nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyata. Yeah, so it says that chant the holy name, chant the holy name, chant the holy name. Never stop chanting the holy name. It's the only way that you can become free from the cycle of birth and death in this age of Kali Yuga, the age that we're living in now. And Trinadapi Sunichina Tararapi Saistana Manina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance from is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. Two simple mantras, right? But they're very important mantras. So if you repeat this every day, when you wake up, or when you're driving your car, or when someone runs into your car, you'll be protected. Haribol. All right. Any other questions? These are good questions tonight. You got a question? No? Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's 9:15 almost. And Priya is very, very relaxed. You relaxed, Priya? Yeah? Huh? She's chewing, so she's. See these cows, they will eat the grass, right? But they regurgitate it. It comes back, and they'll chew it and chew it and chew it. Why? Because by doing that, they're able to digest the not only all the vitamins and minerals, but also what's it called? There's certain things in grass that human beings can't digest, but the cows can digest the grass, and the proof is they eat grass, they give you milk, right? So what is that thing? I forgot. Anyway, I'll think of it. So that's why you'll see them always chewing. Why? Because they regurgitate. They bring out what they ate, and they keep chewing it and chewing it and chewing it until it breaks down. It is what do you call it? I forget. Anyway, that's right. So cows have four stomachs. That's why they're able to break down grass. If we eat grass, we can't really digest it. We can chew it, but then we have to spit it out. And by chewing it, you get some of the vitamins and minerals in the grass. Grass, by the way, is very healthy to chew on. And our teeth are like a grinder. So by chewing and chewing the grass, we get the benefit of the minerals and the proteins in grass. So just normal grass, you can live off on it. Of course, you'll get bored eating it every day. Now, you can't actually swallow it. You can try, but you won't be able to digest it because it has, what is it called? Huh? Cellulose, yeah, cellulose. Human beings can't digest it. The animals can because they keep chewing it, and they have a way of digesting it. So, but forget about the cellulose. You can live off of grass. You can boil it, and then the vitamins and minerals in the grass end up in the water. And you can chew it also and spit it out and drink the vitamins and minerals that went into the water. And grass is, you can live off of it. If there's nothing else to eat, you can pick grass and it'll keep you alive, It might not keep you alive, for the rest of your life, but it can keep you alive, long enough till you can, be able to come back into civilized life. So grass is very, very nutritious. That's why the cows, they're eating grass and they're making milk. It's a miracle. If you eat grass, do you make milk? No. So you see, the body of a cow is a miracle, absolute miracle. Yeah. Okay, so I think we covered so many things. So if you know Harinama, 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 Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, 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 Gatiranyata. Chant the holy names of the Lord, chant the holy names of the Lord, chant the holy names of the Lord, chant the holy names of the Lord. There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way to please the Lord except chanting the names of the Lord. And also, Trinada Pisinichina, Torarapi Sisna, Mani Namanadena, Kirtanya Sada Hari. In this age of Kali Yuga, the worst age, to be alive in. It's full of hypocrisy and quarrel. But the only means of deliverance in this age of Kali is chanting the holy names of the Lord. There's no other way. There's no other way. There is no other way. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Thank you very much. Any questions? If not, then we will adjourn and pick it up 11 hours from now, tomorrow morning. Okay, well, thank you very much. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.